Hello and welcome back to Soon 73 Tai Chi. Today we're exploring move number 44, brush knee left. You know this move, we've done it facing different directions. This time instead of facing square on to our front, back, or sides, we'll be facing a slightly different angle towards about 130 or 2. And since I know you've already done some warm-ups, and checked in with your mind, body, and all of its various beautiful parts and pieces, including your breath, let's flow right into our session, getting oriented to our space and our clock, making sure that we are truly here in this now, this time and space. And the breath can help us connect with the present. How are you breathing today? How are you standing? Be aware. Set yourself up for success and stillness, and then together we'll take that into flow, shifting the weight off the right foot. Centering the weight, the hands float up, palm facing palm. Compressing qi as they descend towards the lower dantian, expanding qi again as they widen up, and right palm flipping up, left fingers touching its side, aware of every nuance of movement, stepping towards 3 o'clock and aligning our left and right feet for a full breath to flow through the entire body, and taking our time to breathe. Stepping with the left foot into single whip left, but opening towards the right. Coming back to face 12 o'clock with the right palm facing 3 o'clock until it flits up facing 12 along with the left hand for the white crane flashes wings move, and another mindful breath into the belly where the inhale and the exhale are equally important. Shifting the weight mindfully and stepping towards 9 o'clock for brush knee right. Left. Brush knee left. And playing the lute leads us into intercept, deflect, parry, and punch towards 9 o'clock with the right fist punching over the left forearm. Here in our left bow stance, where we would draw and gather qi to push the mountain. Right follow step aligning so left heel can just pivot forward for another mindful breath, relaxing us fully on the exhale as we release all tension and flow directly into brush knee right. And leisurely Tai Chi towards 3 o'clock. Every muscle at ease enough to feel the joints open like a beautiful string of pearls that doesn't clang together or grind down from tension. Releasing into the full breath can help us open the spaces of the joints. Single whip back to the left. The left foot is fully flat before we transition the weight back while pushing forward. There is no weight on the right foot, ideally, so that we can just flow right into right fist under Left elbow towards 9 o'clock. Here, we step into a left bow stance and almost a brush knee left towards 6 o'clock. And of course, transitioning into a right bow stance towards 12 o'clock. And here we have a brush knee left, just like we'll be doing soon, but this one's towards 9 o'clock, followed by leisurely Tai Chi with the left hand and foot drawing in and leading us out to open joints. Still breathing, ideally in and out of the nose. It will happen automatically, but now we know that every time we return, we check in. And we may notice that if we breathe stressfully at the beginning of our form, we don't at the end. Single whip to the right. Leads us into our wave hands like clouds to the right. The feet are at shoulder width. Hopefully, I'm keeping my toes facing 12 o'clock as I go through this sequence. I think I'm getting better at it. We all have different things that we work on in our form. That's why we can't ever compare our Tai Chi to someone else's. Transitioning now towards 1:30 or 2 in higher horse with the right side of the body withdrawing, the left bubbling well, touching the feet position as we rotate a ball of Qi, connecting that energy to expand it in the toe kick left, condensing it and expanding it in the toe kick right, and condensing that. As we come into the downward punch, with the right fist punching down, the left fist palm down, outside the left thigh. Even as we come around and swing out the right side of the body, then the left fist is pointing up as we punch over, now stepping towards 9 o'clock, floating the foot down, remembering to take small steps if we need to for balance today. We tuned in with that in our warm-ups before starting. A little squeeze. And then a skillful straight leg toe kick towards 10:30 leads us to spin all the way around into a right heel kick with mirror image in the arms until they reposition as the foot descends, left hand extending towards 9 with the weight shift, right hand extending with the weight shift, 2 fists forming, but we are relaxed and at ease in a very small punch towards 9 o'clock. Peeling up the right toes and stepping into push the mountain. Aligning the left heel so that the right toes pivot to 6. We breathe in fully and hopefully can sync that up with breathing out. And today's lesson 44, where we stand on the right foot, hold the baby. Look to 1:30, step with the left foot to 1:30 for a brush knee left towards 1:30. And that will be today's lesson. So you know, brush knee left. Ending in this position with the right hand roughly in front of the right shoulder, the left palm outside the thigh, the elbows a little bent, pretty much symmetrical arms, but one up and one down. You know this position. So we won't belabor that. What we will belabor is the more challenging aspect of stepping from facing 6 o'clock all the way to a left bow stance towards 1:30. Let's become aware of that now. Here we are facing 6 o'clock. So what are we doing with our feet in this version of stepping into our brush knee left? So we shift the weight to the right foot, and then we can kind of turn the waist and direct ourselves. Okay, that's where I'm going, 1:30 or 2. And we pick up the left foot. It turns, touching on the heel, with the toe facing 1:30 or 2. The whole foot goes flat. And then we give it our weight and we turn our body and reposition the right foot so that now we have a left bow stance with the hips, the shoulders, the entire body facing 1:30. And how do I know if I made it? I bring the right foot down and I bring my left heel straight back on this diagonal. Yep, there's space between my feet. Sure enough, I made that step. So here we are, ideally both toes towards 6, standing on the right foot. We know where we're going, so as we're turning the waist, it works better if we can turn the whole body, put the heel down with the toe towards 1:30, and shift the weight. Now look at this. Look at that foot position. Heels in, toe out. Basically, right here, I am symmetrical. I can feel it. And then, of course, we transition the weight and position the right foot so that now we have a squared up hip and shoulder towards around 2 o'clock. The right heel flat, bring the left one back. Yep, I've got some space. But don't stress yourself out. Maybe like you, maybe not, but maybe you, like me, in the beginning, you have a hard time getting that left foot all the way around. Ugh, doesn't quite go there. So when you come around, you feel like you're not squared up to 1:30, because you're not, because your toe is maybe pointing over towards 2:30 or closer to 3 o'clock, making your whole leg kind of twisted that way. So that means when you're facing this way, you feel kind of twisted. That's not unusual to put the foot down facing that direction. But know that when we transition the weight, we can create a bigger space between the feet by bringing the right foot a little wider. And we remember that it's just touching the bubbling well and the heel is not flat. So if maybe we stepped out kind of like this, one very far, boom, like that, we can create more space to feel more squared up by bringing the right foot around. In our brush knee, ideally that left toe and leg are facing 1:30 or 2, and the only way to get there is to practice. Let's do the feet a couple more times. But it shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't strain. Be gentle with yourself, standing on the right foot. Look where you're going. Bring the left heel down, left toe to 1:30, transition the weight to the left foot, pick up the right foot, create the follow step. Roughly, hips, shoulders, center line of body squared up to 1:30 or 2. We'll do it a few times with the feet, getting in the practice. And then you can always come back to this video and just repeat this, standing on the right foot, looking to 1:30, stepping out on the left heel, the whole foot goes flat, it takes our weight, we turn fully to face 1:30 or 2, with the right foot transitioning onto the bubbling well. Space between feet. A couple more times. Let's do a couple more times. Getting in the practice. Weight on right foot. We're nice and tall. We don't want to look at the ground. We want to look somewhere up because we want to go somewhere up, not down, right? We want to go somewhere up. We can use those techniques in the beginning of looking of where our foot is going to realize which way the toe is pointing. But we don't want to get in the habit of looking at the ground because it'll throw off our balance and we're no longer holding alignment. If we are looking at the ground, the head and the energy of the head goes down. So ideally, eyes kind of level, and that's where we keep them as we turn and gaze in the direction we're going. That leads our energy to go that way. Let's bring in the hands with our brush knee. So we know we end here in our open and close, hands about the width of the head. And in our brush knee, when we shift the weight to one foot, the momentum of that lowers the hands like holding a baby. So here my right hand is underneath. My left palm faces the right elbow as I turn and look. We remember that when we step in our brush knee, when the heel of the foot goes down, the heel of the hand goes down, so that as we turn the body, the left arm just comes around the left leg. The right palm subtly turns to face around 130 or 2. So here we should feel like hips and shoulders, whole center line is facing 130 or 2, space under the arms. And if you don't, if you feel a little twisted, it's okay. You're not the only one. Sometimes I feel that too when I do it if I'm a little off. So we practice. Shift the weight to the right foot, hands lower to the right hip. We look to 130. The left foot steps out. The left hand lowers to come around the body as we turn towards 130. Right hand kind of throws a pie. I think of it as throwing a pie. Boom, boom. But we don't want to do this. Sometimes when I have said that, I see students do this, like leaning back and then whoo, like their whole body becomes a catapult. No, it's really just this. Whoo, whoo. It's turning of the waist that's creating the catapult, not the leaning of the body. Let's do it a few times with the hands. After our open and close, we shift the weight to the right foot, holding a baby on the right hip, looking to 130 or 2. Left foot steps on the heel, left hand low. Turn, adjust the right follow step, right hand throws the pie. Each time we do it, it gets a little bit easier. Let's do it a few times. Shift the weight, hold the baby on the right. You could say we're looking over our left shoulder as the left hand comes low to go around, squaring up our whole body towards 1:30 or 2 o'clock. For our brush knee left today, first 6 o'clock. Shift the weight, don't drop the baby, space under the armpits. As we step on the heel of the foot, the heel of the hand comes down. They are united in that way, harmonizing yin and yang. Shows up in so many ways through our form. Let's do like 3 more times. So here it is. Number 1, shift the weight, hold the baby. Look to 2, step to 2. Left hand is facing the ground with the armpit open. Second, there's only 2 more left. Are you ready? Let's work it in. We've got this. Shift the weight, look, step with the foot as the heel of the hand comes down, turn, brush over the knee, little follow step. It is getting easier. Even for me today, it feels like it's getting easier. Thank you so much for helping me practice. Here's the last one, then we'll put it in flow. Hold the baby, look, step, brush over the left knee, little follow step. So we end here in move number 44, brush knee left with the whole body facing around 130, all the weight on the left foot. Let's get there from the beginning together. Tune in with your breath, how tall and at ease you are. It's so easy for you now to learn new things and create new ways of being in yourself. I'm proud of how far you've come. Let's carry that with us as we begin. Our attention is around 10:30. We feel suspended from above. Our joints are flowing more open as we relax our muscles more deeply than we ever have before, while moving and being awake. We remain at ease and alert in our full conscious mindful breath helps us with that. We do not pause after the exhale. We simply take our attention towards 12 o'clock in our single whip left, leading us to lifting hands, and the only incidence of the form also of white crane flashes wings. But here at the beginning, we have a lot of opportunities to tune in with the breath. Grateful to breathe with you as we flow right into our first brush knee left, setting up a good left bow stance towards 9 o'clock. This part has become so easy for you now, hasn't it? Flow is effortless in the familiar. At the beginning of our form, it becomes easier and easier because we practice it every time. We might become a little less flowy, more rigid and tense if we're getting towards areas in our form that we don't know as well. So each time we connect with relaxing fully and alertly into our breath in the open and close. Here we have brush knee right. Are we setting up a good right bow stance towards 3 o'clock? The right bow stance and the left bow stance help to create harmony in the lower body if we are setting them up ideally mirror image of each other. With practice, we learn to feel into those little nuances, and connecting with the openness of breathing really helps with that. Now we're stepping backwards with our left foot after our full exhale. The palms turn forward in the uprooting push. There is no weight on the right foot there, which is why it turns so easily in before taking our weight for a right fist under left elbow. Here we have our left bow stance towards 6 o'clock, which is a pretty significant step, but it's not quite as big and challenging as the one we did today that we're working our way towards in our flow. We know here we have left bow stance towards 9 o'clock in our brush knee left, followed by leisurely Tai Chi. Every joint open, none of them tense or compressed, aligning our feet perfectly, shoulder width, toes to 12 o'clock for a mindful full inhale. And a complete exhale that is never rushed. Single whip right, palms opening as we transition the weight and the push. Bringing in the right side of the body and stepping sideways now in our wave hands like clouds. If we add the breath here, we inhale. Typically here, we exhale. Sometimes when we connect with the breath in the open and close, slowing it down to perhaps 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, we find we want to connect the breath into the rest of the movements. Higher horse towards 130 with the left bubbling well touches as the hands point in the same direction before gathering chi into a ball to then expand it in our toe kick left, floating the heel down so we are not stressed. It should be close for toe kick right. Positioning towards 3 o'clock comes easy to you now. For our punch down with the right fist, staying tall. We withdraw, right foot and fist come out together, flipping from dantian, left palm up as we punch, left toes out, right toes out, foot going down softly in time with hand, holding chi. Left toes pointing towards 7:30-ish as we turn back to face 9. Bubbling well touches on the right foot as we squeeze. Right foot repositions to 12 for our toe kick left with a straight leg, the toe pointing. So the hands open and then they close again to about the width of the head as we spin around into heel kick right. And shifting the weight is what sends the left hand forward. Shifting the weight is what sends the right hand forward. Drop the upper shoulder and relax it in the punch. Stepping towards 9 o'clock with the right foot pushing, the left foot positions towards 6 o'clock. The right toes turn towards 6 for a mindful breath in, hands open. And breath out, hands closed. Lead us to today's lesson, brush knee left, standing on the right foot, holding the baby. Looking towards 130, stepping out, the left hand lowers, and we turn and face the entire body towards 130 or 2 in our brush knee left. In our own practice, it's good to just pause there a moment. Slowly come back to center and relax. And make sure to thank ourselves when we are through with our practice. Good job! I highly recommend the full body tapping, which follows the patterns of the meridians. Looking forward to seeing you for the next lesson.